A 19-year-old TikTok star has died from a gunshot wound. Matima Miller, best known as Swavy to the 2.5 million followers on his TikTok account, Babyface S, has been identified as the victim in a shooting. Police in Wilmington, Delaware found Miller with a gunshot wound and say he later died at the hospital.
Imagine captivating millions with your dance moves and humor, only to have your life abruptly ended at its peak. This is the heartbreaking story of Swavy, a TikTok sensation whose promising future was tragically cut short. Matima Miller, known to his millions of fans as Swavy or Babyface, ETS, was a vibrant and talented young man whose life was tragically cut short. Born on December 26, 2002, in Wilmington, Delaware, Swavy grew up in a Christian African-American family. He had a brother, Raheem Clark, who is also a TikTok personality known as Stack Up Quan. Swavy's journey to fame began in 2020 when he started sharing content on TikTok under the username @babyface.s. His energetic dance routines, comedic sketches, and lip-sync performances quickly resonated with audiences, propelling him to internet stardom. Within a short span, he amassed over 2.5 million followers and garnered more than 97.4 million likes on his videos. His popularity extended to Instagram, where he had a substantial following of 356,000 fans. Tragically, Swavy's burgeoning career was abruptly halted on July 5, 2021. On that day, at approximately 10:42 a.m., he was shot in the 700 block of Elbert Place in Wilmington. Despite being rushed to a local hospital, he succumbed to his injuries. The news of his death sent shockwaves through the TikTok community and beyond. Fans and fellow creators mourned the loss of a young talent whose content had brought joy to many.
He got shot, and I just want to let y'all know, like, bro, I'm about to take over for that nigga, bro. Like, all he did was make vids, bro. Vids, went up. Didn't no type of beat, stay to himself. He's real as hell. Real. Like, I'm talking about, as soon as we seen each other, bro, dap up, chop it up a little bit, bro, we was locked in straight like that, bro. Like, he keeps everything real, bro.
His family expressed profound grief, describing his death as a senseless act of gun violence, and emphasized their commitment to seeking justice. They stated, "This is just the beginning. We will forever keep his name alive and continue his legacy."
He was a star. He is a star. Like, we always knew he was a star. Like, he was bigger than life. He was very outgoing, so courageous. He had no fear. Like, he would go anywhere and just bust out in rhythm.
I'm mentally going through because I seen it. I seen my son shot down in the street like that. Bullets in him.
In the aftermath of his passing, a GoFundMe campaign was initiated to cover funeral expenses, reflecting the widespread support from fans and the community. The campaign surpassed its goal, underscoring the impact Swavy had on those who followed his work. The investigation into Swavy's death was thorough. In 2024, 21-year-old Israel Lecomte was convicted of first-degree murder for the deaths of Swavy and 22-year-old Quentin Dorsey. Lecomte received 2 mandatory life sentences, plus 163 years. Prosecutors indicated that Lecomte's actions were tied to gang-related activities in Wilmington, with Swavy and Dorsey targeted due to their associations. Swavy's untimely passing highlights the broader issue of gun violence affecting communities and the loss of young talent. His legacy continues to inspire, urging communities to address the underlying issues that lead to such tragedies. If you or someone you know is affected by gun violence, reaching out to local organizations dedicated to providing support and advocating for change is crucial. In conclusion, Swavy's life, though brief, left an indelible mark on the digital world. His creativity and charisma endeared him to millions, and his story serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of addressing societal issues that lead to such senseless acts of violence. On July 5, 2021, at approximately 10:42 a.m., 19-year-old TikTok star Matima Miller, known online as Swavy or Babyface.s, was fatally shot in Wilmington, Delaware. The incident occurred in the 700 block of Elbert Place, a residential area in the Southbridge neighborhood. Responding to reports of gunfire, Wilmington police officers arrived at the scene to find Miller suffering from a critical gunshot wound. He was promptly transported to a nearby hospital, where despite medical efforts, he succumbed to his injuries. The news of Miller's death sent shockwaves through both the local community and his extensive online following. Known for his energetic dance videos and engaging content, Swavy had amassed over 2.5 million followers on TikTok, making his untimely death a significant loss to fans worldwide. In the immediate aftermath, the Wilmington Police Department launched a comprehensive investigation into the shooting. Details about the circumstances leading up to the incident were initially scarce, prompting widespread speculation and concern among the public and media outlets. Authorities urged anyone with information to come forward, emphasizing the need for community cooperation in solving the case. As the investigation progressed, it was revealed that Miller's death was part of a series of violent incidents linked to gang-related activities in Wilmington. In 2024, 21-year-old Israel Lecomte was convicted of first-degree murder for the deaths of Miller and another young entrepreneur, Quentin Dorsey. Lecomte received 2 mandatory life sentences plus 163 years. Prosecutors indicated that Lecomte's actions were tied to gang-related activities in Wilmington, with Miller and Dorsey targeted due to their associations.
I had to lay there with my son. And I asked God, like, why did you let me see that? And I had to think about it, like, he wouldn't have want nobody else in the world to be down there with him but his mom.
Miller's family, friends, and fans were left devastated by his sudden and violent passing. His mother, Chanel Clark, expressed profound grief, stating, "I'm mentally going through it because I seen it. I seen my son shot down in the street like that." The family emphasized their commitment to seeking justice for Miller, vowing to keep his legacy alive. The broader community also felt the impact of Miller's death, highlighting ongoing concerns about gun violence in Wilmington. Local authorities and community leaders reiterated calls for collaborative efforts to address the root causes of such violence, aiming to prevent future tragedies and ensure the safety of residents. In the digital realm, tributes poured in from fellow content creators and followers who had been touched by Swavy's work. His videos, characterized by their creativity and charisma, had brought joy to many, and his loss was deeply felt across social media platforms. Fans shared memories and condolences, creating a virtual memorial to honor his life and contributions. The tragic incident underscored the vulnerabilities that public figures, even those who rise to fame through social media, can face in their personal lives. It also sparked discussions about the responsibilities of online platforms in protecting their creators and the importance of addressing societal issues that lead to such acts of violence. In conclusion, the fatal shooting of Matima Swavy Miller was a heartbreaking event that highlighted the pervasive issue of gun violence in communities and the profound impact such tragedies have on families, friends, and fans. His legacy continues to inspire conversations about safety, justice, and the need for collective action to prevent similar incidents in the future. The untimely death of Matima Miller, known to his fans as Swavy or Babyface.s, reverberated through the online community, eliciting a profound outpouring of grief and disbelief. Swavy, a 19-year-old TikTok sensation celebrated for his dance moves and engaging content, had amassed over 2.5 million followers, making his sudden passing on July 5, 2021, a significant loss to many. Fans across various social media platforms expressed their sorrow and paid tribute to Swavy's vibrant personality and creative spirit. His TikTok videos, which showcased his energetic dance routines and comedic sketches, became memorial spaces where followers shared condolences and memories. Comments such as, "This can't be true," and "Rest in peace, Swavy," flooded his recent posts, reflecting the collective mourning of a community that had found joy and inspiration in his content. The shockwaves extended beyond his immediate fan base, touching fellow content creators and influencers who had collaborated with or been inspired by Swavy. Many took to their platforms to honor his memory, sharing stories of their interactions and highlighting the positive impact he had within the creator community. This widespread acknowledgement underscored Swavy's influence and the void his absence would create in the digital content landscape. In the wake of his passing, a GoFundMe campaign was established to assist with funeral expenses, and support his family during this challenging time. The campaign quickly surpassed its initial goal, a testament to the deep connection Swavy had fostered with his audience and the broader online community's desire to offer tangible support. However, the period of mourning was marred by controversy stemming from comments made by talk show host Wendy Williams. During a segment on The Wendy Williams Show, Williams discussed Swavy's death in a manner that many perceived as insensitive.
So here he is. He's 19, and he was murdered Monday morning. He's a TikTok star. He's got more followers than me. 2.5 million.
On TikTok, but on Instagram, you have more followers.
Well, as my son Kevin would say, no one uses Instagram anymore.
What?
And as far as TikTok, I don't use that at all. I don't know what that is. I don't want to be involved.
She began by comparing their social media followings and, after noting his larger TikTok presence, abruptly revealed his passing, eliciting criticism for the perceived trivialization of a tragic event. The backlash was swift and widespread. Viewers and fans condemned Williams's approach, labeling it disrespectful and lacking empathy. Social media platforms buzzed with calls for accountability, with some urging for an apology and others advocating for a boycott of her show. The incident sparked broader conversations about the responsibilities of public figures when discussing sensitive topics and the need for compassion in media narratives. Swavy's family also responded to the segment.
Wendy Williams, how, as a mother, how do you put a child out there like that? Nobody knew him like that. I mean, he was online, he was popular online, but like he was going to spread his wings by himself. He was in the background waiting for him to blow. Like, it shouldn't have been, my son shouldn't have been shot down in the streets like that for somebody to recognize who he is. He was already getting recognition.
Expressing their hurt and disappointment. His mother, Chanel Clark, described Williams's remarks as so disrespectful, emphasizing the additional pain it caused during an already devastating time. The family called for greater respect and understanding from media personalities, highlighting the human lives behind the headlines. Despite the controversy, the overwhelming response from fans in the online community remained one of solidarity and remembrance. Tributes celebrating Swavy's life and contributions continued to pour in, with many sharing his videos and expressing how his creativity had touched their lives. Hashtags such as #RIP Swavy trended across platforms, serving as virtual vigils for the departed star. The incident also prompted discussions about the broader implications of gun violence, particularly its impact on young talents like Swavy. Advocates and community members utilized the heightened attention to call for increased efforts in combating such violence, aiming to prevent future tragedies and protect the lives of promising individuals. In conclusion, the passing of Swavy elicited a profound and multifaceted reaction from the community. While his death brought about a wave of grief and reflection among fans and fellow creators, it also highlighted the need for sensitivity in media coverage and sparked important conversations about societal issues. Swavy's legacy endures through the memories he created and the impact he had on countless individuals, both online and offline. The tragic death of 19-year-old TikTok star Matima Miller, known as Swavy, on July 5, 2021, prompted an extensive investigation by the Wilmington Police Department. Responding to reports of a shooting around 10:42 a.m. in the 700 block of Elbert Place, officers found Miller critically injured. He was transported to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. In the immediate aftermath, details surrounding the shooting were scarce, leading to widespread speculation and concern within the community and among Miller's substantial online following. The police department urged anyone with information to come forward, emphasizing the importance of community assistance in solving the case. As the investigation progressed, it was revealed that Miller's death was part of a series of violent incidents linked to gang-related activities in Wilmington. In 2024, 21-year-old Israel LeCompte was convicted of first-degree murder for the deaths of Miller and 22-year-old Quentin Dorsey. LeCompte received 2 mandatory life sentences plus 163 years. prosecutors indicated that Lecomte's actions were tied to gang-related activities in Wilmington, with Miller and Dorsey targeted due to their associations. The successful resolution of this case underscored the effectiveness of collaborative efforts between law enforcement and the community in addressing violent crime. It also highlighted the ongoing challenges posed by gang-related activities in urban areas and the critical need for continued vigilance and cooperation to prevent such tragedies in the future. In the wake of Miller's death, his family and supporters have continued to advocate for justice and raise awareness about the impact of gun violence. Their efforts serve as a poignant reminder of the human toll behind crime statistics and the importance of community engagement in fostering safer environments. For those seeking to honor Miller's memory, his family has encouraged supporters to contribute to initiatives aimed at combating gun violence and supporting affected families, turning their grief into a catalyst for positive change. In conclusion, the investigation into Matima Swavy Miller's death reflects the complexities of addressing violent crime in urban communities and the essential role of community involvement in achieving justice. The case serves as both a cautionary tale and a call to action for continued efforts to create safer, more supportive environments for all. In 2024, the legal proceedings surrounding the tragic deaths of 19-year-old TikTok star Matima Miller, known as Swavy, and 22-year-old entrepreneur Quentin Dorsey reached a pivotal conclusion. The perpetrator, 21-year-old Israel Lecomte, was convicted of first-degree murder for both homicides. The court sentenced him to 2 mandatory life terms without the possibility of parole, supplemented by an additional 163 years for related offenses. The investigation revealed that Lecomte's actions were deeply entwined with gang-related activities in Wilmington, Delaware. Both Miller and Dorsey were identified as targets due to their associations, which, according to prosecutors, made them susceptible to such violent acts. The trial, which spanned 3 weeks, presented compelling evidence against Lecomte. The jury was convinced of his culpability, leading to convictions not only for the murders, but also for a series of other charges. These included offenses related to a non-fatal shooting and multiple robberies that occurred during the summer of 2021. This case was part of a broader crackdown on gang-related violence in the area. Lecomte's conviction marked the culmination of efforts to dismantle the North Pack Gang, a group implicated in various violent crimes. Prosecutors had been steadily securing verdicts and guilty pleas against North Pack members since a significant indictment was announced in June 2021. The sentencing of Lecomte to 2 life terms plus 163 years underscores the severity of his crimes and serves as a stern warning against gang-related violence. This outcome reflects the judicial system's commitment to addressing and mitigating the impact of such activities on the community. The families of the victims, while finding some solace in the verdict, continue to grapple with the profound loss of their loved ones. The community, too, remains affected by the events, prompting ongoing discussions about the need for comprehensive strategies to combat gang influence and provide support for at-risk youth. In conclusion, the arrest and conviction of Israel Lecomte bring a measure of justice to the tragic deaths of Matima Miller and Quentin Dorsey. The case highlights the pervasive issue of gang-related violence and underscores the importance of continued efforts to ensure the safety and well-being of communities. Family's statement: the untimely death of Matima Miller, known to many as Swavy, profoundly impacted his family and the broader community. Swavy, a 19-year-old TikTok star celebrated for his dance videos and engaging content, was fatally shot in Wilmington, Delaware, on July 5, 2021. His family expressed deep sorrow, describing his death as a senseless act of gun violence, and emphasized their commitment to seeking justice. They stated, "This is just the beginning. We will forever keep his name alive and continue his legacy." In the wake of this tragedy, the family faced additional challenges. Swavy's mother, Chanel Clark, who witnessed the shooting, expressed her anguish. "I'm mentally going through it because I seen it. I seen my son shot down in the street like that." The emotional toll was compounded by public discourse surrounding the incident. Talk show host Wendy Williams faced backlash for her coverage of Swavy's death, which many, including his family, found disrespectful. Clark addressed Williams directly, stating, "Wendy Williams, how dare you? So disrespectful." Despite these challenges, the family remained focused on honoring Swavy's memory and seeking justice. They initiated a GoFundMe campaign to cover funeral expenses, which surpassed its goal, reflecting the widespread support from fans and the community. The family also called for respect and sensitivity, urging the public to refrain from spreading unverified information about Swavy's death. The community's response was marked by an outpouring of grief and solidarity. Fans and fellow content creators shared tributes across social media platforms, celebrating Swavy's life and the joy he brought to many. His brother, Rakim Clark, highlighted Swavy's vibrant personality. He was a star. He is a star. We always knew he was a star. He was bigger than life. The incident also sparked broader conversations about gun violence and its impact on communities. Advocates and community members utilized the heightened attention to call for increased efforts in combating such violence, aiming to prevent future tragedies and protect the lives of promising individuals. In conclusion, the family and community's response to Swavy's death underscores the profound impact he had on those around him. Their commitment to seeking justice and honoring his legacy reflects a collective desire to remember Swavy not only for his online presence, but also for the person he was beyond the screen. The untimely death of TikTok star Swavy, born Matima Miller, deeply affected his fan base and the broader social media community. Known for his dance routines and engaging content, Swavy's passing on July 5, 2021, led to an outpouring of grief and tributes across various platforms. Fans and fellow creators shared memories and expressed their sorrow, highlighting the broader issue of gun violence affecting young talents. This collective mourning not only honored Swavy's legacy, but also underscored the urgent need to address the senseless violence that claims promising lives. Swavy's story is a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating impact of gun violence. His legacy continues to inspire, urging communities to address the underlying issues that lead to such tragedies. If you or someone you know is affected by gun violence, reach out to local organizations dedicated to providing support and advocating for change. For more stories that explore the lives behind the headlines, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.